The DMK has taken on the BJP-led central government over the proposed delimitation exercise based on population and the three-language formula under the National Education Policy 2020. While the DMK is firm in its stand that a delimitation exercise based on population will disempower the southern states, the BJP is calling it a political drama ahead of the Tamil Nadu Assembly election next year. Is it a political drama, or there are larger concerns that the southern states have? To discuss this and more, we have with us Chief of DMK's Parliamentary Party and Lok Sabha MP Kanimoli Karunanidhi to talk to us. Welcome to the print, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, this whole delimitation debate is being seen as a South versus North divide. So, what do you think about it? Is that really the case? And what are your concerns?
Definitely not. I mean, you cannot call it. I mean, it's convenient for parties like BJP to create a divide because they're used to creating divides to be there in power. But this is definitely not South versus North because you saw the Punjab Chief Minister was there, and there are states which will get affected. Odisha was represented. Leaders from BJD were there, and Congress Odisha was represented. So it is definitely not North versus South. It is actually a concern for many states which have controlled population. I'm sure Northeast will be losing, and states like Haryana or many other states are concerned about what is going to happen if there's going to be delimitation based on population. So I think it is wrong to say this is
South versus
creating another divide between parties which come together with concern.
Ma'am, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin took the lead. He hosted this Joint Action Committee meeting this Saturday, where chief ministers of four states and representatives from six opposition parties were there. So, do you think that by framing the delimitation debate as a federal issue, Mr. Stalin has also transcended regional politics?
See, DMK has never only been concerned about issues in Tamil Nadu. I mean, even when our founder leader Peraringer Anna was here, he was in parliament. He has raised issues about rights, federal rights, state rights, and issues concerning the entire country. And same way when Dr. Kalaignar was leading the party also. I mean, he was very clear about the DMK stand on just not language but federal rights and about issues concerning the country and protecting democracy. We've paid a heavy price in protecting the democracy of this country. And even during the days of Vajpayee, when he was the prime minister, our chief minister Dr. Kalaignar and our leader has written to him, raising concerns about delimitation based on population. Even then, that is when DMK members have also spoken against delimitation when it was
Back
first.
then.
Yes, back then we've raised our concerns in parliament. So it is not something new that DMK is talking about national issues and about larger concerns beyond Tamil Nadu. And I definitely think our leader and the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, right from when he became the leader of the party, he has raised concerns. And when whatever the BJP, like even on Manipur issue, what's happening in Manipur and what many things which concern the country and about atrocities against the minorities, DMK has been the first voice which has raised its concern, and our leader has definitely voiced his concern, and he has opposed when it came to the farmers bill and many issues. We've raised our concern. So I don't think it is only the delimitation, because I think he has brought leaders, from across the parties in
on
this
other pressing
again. Yeah,
issues.
in this again. And I think today the national media is taking this much more seriously, because I'm sure the national media also understands that it is not just a political or an election gimmick, which BJP likes to name it. It is far beyond that, and it will have, concerns beyond upcoming elections. It is a much larger issue.
Ma'am, a controversy has also broken out over the three language formula under the NEP, with Mr. Stalin asking the BJP government to make Tamil an official language, halt Hindi imposition, and prioritize Tamil Nadu's development rather than symbolic gestures like just installing a Sengol inside the parliament. So, I mean, why is the DMK against Hindi language?
See, you must understand that we are not against any language. We are against imposing any language on anybody. So why do you want to impose, why do you want to bring in a three language policy? Why do you want to impose and say that everybody in this country has to learn Hindi? Why should Hindi be the linked language? If a child or a family decides that there is a need for them to learn any particular language, let them learn it. It should be a choice. I don't think anybody has a right to say that you have to learn something to be Indian. I don't know Hindi, but I'm as Indian as you are, or anybody who speaks as or
Your
has
children,
learned it.
ma'am, did they learn Hindi in school?
No. My son did not learn Hindi in school. I did not learn Hindi in school, and I don't think.
In fact, today you had put a question in
Yes,
Lok Sabha also
yes,
about how many schools across India are following the three language
yes,
policy.
and I really don't think any language should be forced on anybody. So we're not against Hindi. And one thing you should understand is it is not today, and it is just not the DMK. The people of Tamil Nadu, we've lost lives when we fought against Hindi imposition. It is not today, it is from the 30s that we've been fighting against Hindi imposition. So it is just not the DMK. People from, people from the.
It's a very emotive issue
Yes,
there.
it is not just an emotive. We don't really understand why we have to be forced. Let us choose to learn whichever language we want. Why should anybody force us to learn Hindi?
The BJP has said that Hindi was compulsory third language during Congress rule also during the UPA time. So why was there no
No, it
resistance
was not
back then?
compulsory it was not compulsory at all. And when Congress tried to impose Hindi, of course, they had to take it back because of what happened, the riots and the revolution which broke out in Tamil Nadu. They had to take it back, and we can clearly see that in the floor of the parliament, a resolution was passed that in Tamil Nadu there will be two language policy as long as the people do not accept it. So why do they want to come and change it now?
Ma'am, back to this Joint Action Committee meeting that happened on Saturday. So what were the key takeaways from the meeting?
See, I think the most important thing is that till there is a balance achieved across the country in controlling population, it's unfair to some states which have controlled population. So till that we have to have a freeze. That is what we've requested for, or an amendment or a change where nobody is going to be affected. A fair delimitation. We are not against delimitation, but it should be fair to everybody. So come out with some formula, and when you say pro rata, give us a clarity about it. Let us have a discussion. So we've requested. We are going to request to meet with the Prime Minister, and it is an all-party resolution. It's from the resolution was passed out of concerns from many states, and we're going to ask for time and request that the Prime Minister, understands our concerns
Ma'am, before the
and addresses it.
Joint action committee meeting happened, so before that, was there some kind of a outreach from the DMK? As in, did the DMK try to reach out to the center, the NDA government at the center, to discuss and maybe to get more clarity on how they propose to go ahead with the delimitation exercise
The
as and
Chief
when it
Minister has
happens?
written to the Prime Minister. The Chief Minister has, many times said that delimitation should not be on population basis. The DMK party has given adjournment motions. We've requested for discussions in Parliament. When the Home Minister came to Tamil Nadu and he said it will be done on pro rata basis, we've asked for an explanation, for clarity on what that means. But we haven't got any reply.
So, is there any strategy that the DMK has in mind? Like, if it's not on the basis of population, then on what basis can delimitation happen?
No, we are not saying this is the way we want to do it. We are saying let us explore possibilities. Let us look at a fair way of doing it, like nobody gets affected, or freeze it where till there is a balance in population. That is why it was done in the first place, because some states had. And it is not an impossible thing. Like Andhra, when the first time there was a freeze put. Their population it was a growing population. Today it's come down to 9%. So it is possible, and we've also seen that as there is development in a state like Tamil Nadu, I mean other indicators, other factors we've been developing. Health indicators have improved, education indicators have improved. When all that improves, definitely population comes down. So, if the union government concentrates on all that, definitely we will be able to have a balanced population growth across the nation, and then we can do the delimitation. I mean, seems the most possible thing today. But if we can come out with a better formula, we are not closing doors on it.
Okay, but you haven't heard anything as yet.
No, we haven't heard anything from them. We haven't heard anything. It's like we are knocking the doors, and saying, give us a clarification. But there's no discussion, no debate, nothing.
Ma'am, not all opposition parties seem to be on the same page on the delimitation issue. Like in the Joint Action Committee meeting also, opposition parties from North Maharashtra, they skipped it. Trinamool Congress did
I'd
not
like
come.
to clarify one thing. See, it is not all the opposition parties which were invited. It was parties which will get affected, which was, states which will get affected, which were invited. We did not call Maharashtra because I don't think they will be affected by it. But maybe, it's a suggestion that I could take whatever you've said today as a suggestion, and we could think about that also. I mean, whether if they would want to be part of it. And Trinamool Congress has been invited, and our leader spoke to the leader, but they have also other concerns about the EpiCard issue. So they're concentrating on that, and I'm sure they also understand that this is a larger issue. So it's not that they did not want to come or they're not with us.
Ma'am, what kind of legal strategy the southern parties will be working at if the center does go ahead with the delimitation exercise based on population? I mean, is there a plan to maybe knock the court's door?
See, this is the first meeting, definitely, and I think the Telangana Chief Minister has invited the leaders, to have the next meeting in Telangana. So I think it will evolve. The next strategy will evolve as it goes forth. But we hope that after this resolution was passed, and as all these leaders come together on a platform and have voice concern, it is just not the DMK. Obviously, leaders from across the country have, raised their concern and voiced their opinion about this. So many voices have come together, and at least after that, I hope the union government understands that it is a larger concern, and they will, be open to a discussion, or at least they will give us a clarity about what is going to happen. And if we have no choice, then maybe we have to go to court, or think about another course of action,
Ma'am, so
or take it to the people.
this whole issue has also kind of become a platform to rally support from the opposition parties, like India Bloc kind of disintegrated, if I can put it that way.
I will not say that. I mean, obviously, it came together for elections, and of course, we still.
There are a lot of differences within the
I mean,
different
two
parties.
parties, cannot have everything. You can't believe in. Otherwise, we won't be two parties, no?
So, do you see a link between the center's imposition of Hindi and delimitation?
See, I think the link is that they do not believe in the rights of the states. And we've always said that the union government, the BJP government, does not care about the rights, about the identity, about the feelings of the people in the states. They just want to create a India which is homogenized with, and I think they're very open about it. One nation, one election, one ration card, one language, one religion. So they want to do away with the diversity of this country. So, and also delimitation is taking away from states which are not going to support the BJP, which are not actually with the BJP, and they don't vote for the BJP. There is definitely a question which is looming large in the minds of many, whether actually population based delimitation is or will become an exercise to reduce the number of seats in states where BJP is not accepted.
So that's a genuine concern that the
Definitely, there
southern
is a
states
concern,
have.
and not just
That is
southern
more of a
states, even I
political
mean, why are you
conspiracy.
leaving Punjab out? And why are you leaving other states out? Yes, definitely, southern states will lose. Entire south will be losing a lot of seats.
Ma'am, the BJP has called this Joint Action Committee meeting as a political drama. Former Tamil Nadu governor and BJP leader Tamilisai Soundararajan has said that the participating CMs were using the delimitation issue to distract from corruption and governance failure in their respective states. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, they have to keep saying, things like this, because they have failed even to address what is happening in Manipur. None of the BJP leaders have found time or have the heart to go and see what is happening there. They have not been able to resolve the issue. And I don't think anybody in the BJP has a right to, talk about any other state.
Ma'am, Tamil Nadu as well as states like Karnataka, so they have also highlighted that they generate more tax revenue, but under the current devolution share, get far less than say
Yes,
for states like Uttar Pradesh, which generate far
definitely,
less
definitely.
revenue. So, I mean, how do you see it?
No, I definitely think it is very unfair that states which are contributing are not getting back anything. We also have to continue developing. You can't hold us back because today after GST, states have lost the power to tax or to get anything through. Even the cess now goes to the we don't get anything out of it, and the compensation also is being stopped. So states like Tamil Nadu, like Kerala, Karnataka are losing out a lot because of GST. So you have to compensate us, but we are not compensated when we are giving if we give the union government 100 rupees, we are only getting, Tamil Nadu is getting back 26 rupees, whereas states like UP is getting many times more than what they are contributing. I'm not saying don't give UP or any state which has to be developed, which has to be supported. I'm not saying don't support them, but don't starve us. Don't break us. That is what we're trying to say. The finance minister, when she was in Tamil Nadu, she said, will you, just because Chennai and Coimbatore are contributing more taxes and they are developed, would you say that you will not support Ariyalur and Kovilpatti? I think it's a very unfair thing to say, because at least now they have to learn from the Dravidian model government. And even if she doesn't like the word Dravidian model, I'd like to say we have a few lessons to teach, because when there is flood in Thoothukudi, the chief minister is not saying that we will not give any funds to support the people there. No, the union government hasn't given us anything when there are floods in Chennai or in Thoothukudi. But it is the state government which runs to support and help them, and has our chief minister has given funds to people who've been affected, and also to rebuild their houses which they lost in the floods. What have you given? Nothing. You just don't care when our people are, there's a natural disaster. And Tamil Nadu government has made sure that there is industrial development in all the districts of Tamil Nadu. That is the main aim now. We want to empower every district. It is just not, Chennai or Coimbatore which has to be developed. We want we want Ariyalur, we want Perambalur, we want Kovilpatti, and yeah, we want the development to be there for everybody. We want it to be an inclusive development. That is exactly what we are asking the union government to do. That yes, we are happy that you're supporting UP, but you cannot, break us. So, you can't, starve us financially. So that is exactly what we're trying to say.
Ma'am, your DMK is one of the most vocal voices in Delhi. Are you looking at a larger role in the party?
I'm happy with the confidence and the support I get from the party and our leader. I mean, whatever role he expects me to rise up to, and he thinks I'm capable of, I'm very happy to, do my party work.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank